Yeah. First off, obviously, thanks to Greensboro Gardens for supporting this event. We appreciate it. Mr. Rick Morris. Dakota Lithium, of course. And all our other sponsors, Get Outdoors, for their awesome prizes for the captain's meeting. I'm trying to think of who won that one. That was Calvin, I believe, won that. And on the water innovations, thank you, Denny. Denny hooked us up with Caraway Creek custom baits, which was cool. So we could be able to give a bunch of that stuff out last week. So next week we're going to be doing the same thing. We'll be able to give out a bunch of stuff, get you some Caraway Creek baits in your hand, get you to try it out. And solar bat, we gave sunglasses, and we had what else did we have? Prizes that we gave away from last week. YakAttack was the other one. Coming up in the next one, we're probably going to be giving away a Carver by Covercraft kayak cover. So make sure you're at the next event. Come to the check-in. If you're not at the check-in, there is no prize for you. So make sure you come in. And that being said, I mean, it was a pretty good event. It's pretty tough. And there's a few people that ended up doing well. And one of them who won it was Mr. Cory Dryer. So I'm going to bring him on in. What's up, man?
How are you guys?
Good. So a lot of people are new. Maybe they don't know you that well. We got a lot of new anglers since you were the face of the club. So why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you're all about?
Yeah. So if you guys don't know me, I'm one of the original co-founders of CKA with Wayne Butler, and Garrett Phillips used to run it as well. And then I've kind of stepped back. I like to call myself like an advisor, help out Eric and Wayne and those guys. So, but I've been kayak fishing since 2006 and started competitively kayak fishing like on the national and local trail around 2013. So, 2012, 2013, so about 10 years now. But live over in Randleman, so frequent Randleman Lake a lot, and I boat fish as well. So for those of you guys that don't know that, and then I don't know.
Now, coming into this event, what were you thinking? I know we talked about it already, but what was your mindset driving down to Raleigh?
Man, honestly, I didn't have any time to pre-fish. I knew coming into this the weather was going to be a little off. Wind. So I had two places that I wanted to fish. I either wanted to go to Ledge Rock or I wanted to go to Barton's. And just due to wind direction and stuff like that and clearer water, I decided to put in at Barton's. And I made my way down towards the dam. I kind of fished my way down that way and could see it in sight. I didn't have enough time to get all the way down there. But in the past, I've done pretty well in that area. So decided to go down there and ended up working out for me. So I was protected from the wind most of the day. The wind shifted a little bit and was pushing, some wind up onto the points and, that first part of each of those pockets on the south side of the lake. And that's actually where I ended up getting my bites. But, going into the event, it was a little odd, I felt this, when things are right and it's going to go your way, it's going to go your way. I got up that morning and just felt this calm over me and was going down the road, stopped at McDonald's, got a coffee and a biscuit. Best biscuit I've ever had at McDonald's. So I was like, hey, things are looking up for me.
Right.
As good as a McDonald's biscuit can be. But, I got to the ramp and just took my time, unloading. And I think I got on the water about 15 minutes after, takeoff time and just kind of made my way around. I went under the bridge there at Barton's and there's about 15 kayaks back there. And then the boat traffic came in and I just decided, I was like, I'm going to stick to my plan. And so I just motored down and ran torpedo down towards the dam and just started fishing down that way. I got away from everybody that I could. I couldn't get away from the boats, but kayakers, I didn't have very many people around me. I saw a few kayaks throughout the day, but nobody was fishing on my side.
Right. Cool. I know I contacted you, I think about 11 o'clock or so, and I asked you what you were throwing, but then I looked at the scoreboard. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm actually ahead of him. So maybe I don't want that advice, but it was.
Yeah,
when I saw that, I was like, okay, it's a tough day.
Yeah, like I said, everything was going my way. It was just it was a weird feeling, to be honest. But I didn't get a bite until around 10:15. I had a bite early, but that was it. But I didn't land a fish until 10:15. I was a little frustrated, and talked to my wife and talked to my buddy Casey Reed on the phone. He was down in Florida fishing an event, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I was like, the weather's bad. Falls Lake is one of those places that's either great or it's terrible. And I've had some good success there, but I've also had some really bad days. And so I was kind of sitting back, and I was like, oh man, kind of second guessing myself and trying not to get down on myself. And I just decided, around 10 o'clock, 10:05, to just do something that I was comfortable with. And so I picked up Z-Man Mag Fatty Z, and as Eric knows, that's one of my go-to baits. But I just kind of went to work, and I started fishing wood and trees that were out actually in the water. And I caught I think it was 11 and a quarter, 11 and a half inch fish. Measured it, and my very next cast I caught I think it was a 14 and a half. So I kind of stuck with that for a little bit, and it took me about 30 more minutes to get a bite. And actually that next bite was a 19 and a quarter, 19 and a half. And there was a lay down in a pocket that was just kind of in open water. And I cast it out there, got a backlash, and was just picking it out. And I watched my line, and I saw my line like swimming off. So got my backlash out and just reeled down, set the hook, and it was a good one. And then after that, my bite dried up. And so I ran I run live scope, and I was starting messing with some fish, couldn't get them to bite. And I'd watch them follow it around. And I was like, you know what, Cory, I told myself, I said, you just gotta just go fishing, man. So I picked up a chatterbait and a 3/8 white jackhammer with a diesel minnow trailer on it. And just went to town and started beating the banks, and was looking for those points that had the wind blowing on it. And I ended up catching some fish pretty quick. And towards the end of the day, I needed an upgrade. I think I was behind Justin and Brian a little bit there, and I needed to get rid of that 11 incher. And actually, last 15 minutes, I caught a 19 and 3/4, and I hooked that fish. I still don't know how I got it in. It's pretty wild. I wish I would have had my GoPro, but that fish hit right at the boat. And when I set the hook, I'd actually bumped my drag at some point. And so, I set the hook, and it just, and that fish shot under my boat, wrapped around my motor in the back. I was fighting that, trying to move rods that were in my lap. My net ended up in the water. It was it was crazy. But long story short, I got that fish in, and I was like, man, 15 minutes left. And I was like, I think this just put me in the lead. From what I knew, and I knew there were some guys that hadn't, uploaded fish all day, like Rick Rowland. He always waits, and always a contender. And as Eric knows, I texted him, and I was like, hey, did you see Rick on there before the standings went down? And he was like, no. And I was like, man, I was like, I was kind of sweating it, because Rick's a hammer. And there's other guys on there that didn't have all their fish uploaded, and come to find out, they didn't have any more fish. And when I got back to the ramp, I ran into Shelly and Rick, and found that he only caught 3 fish. So I was a little relieved. I still wasn't positive that I had it in the bag, but I felt pretty confident that I was up there, at least in the top 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good day, man. It was a good day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that worked out pretty well for you. I know I had fun with the whole Rick, I was telling you, oh yeah, it looks like he's uploading now. Make you stress it out a little bit more. Now, how many times have you won? How many times have you won this event before, CKA event before Saturday?
So this is my first time, believe it or not. I've come close multiple times. A lot of people couldn't believe that. They're like, "You got to be kidding me!" CK has been around for a while, but I like to tell everybody, it's not easy to win at any level. National events, I've been lucky and had some really good places, but um, throughout the years, but it's very difficult to win, and everything just kind of has to line up right. And to be honest with you, we have some of the best anglers, I believe, in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Just here in the state, that's CKA, that's Queen City, that's CCKF, all the other trails, the saltwater trails. Like we have really, really good anglers, and um, you know, a lot of these guys, they don't have the chance to go out and compete in the national level. And I tell people this, I was like, if everybody that fished the local trails went to the nationals, like you'd see these guys would become household names and everybody would know who they are, across the
Yeah,
country.
for sure.
But it's tough, man. It's very tough to win. But I was super fortunate. I was excited, man, to win this thing. It's been on my my bucket list for a while. I was like, man, I've got to do one day. I've just got to win one of these, and it so happened that it was the other day on a lake that I don't love.
Yeah, right. Go figure. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that was it's funny because I won the High Rock event for KBF, but somebody wasn't in the KBF event that was in CKA, and they won the CKA side. So I still haven't won a CKA event either. So
I think out of the directors, I think Wayne and I are the only two that have won an event.
really,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Wayne won a Hickory or something, didn't he?
Yes, and I don't think did Hank win one at some point. I know we've all we've won events.
Well, he was a director. No, but he did last year. He won the Sandy Cooper event. Not Sandy Cooper, Sharon Harris event.
Yeah,
last year. Yeah, with his one fish, or whatever it was. So
but yeah, it's tough to do, and
yeah, it is. It's not easy.
Man, I don't know if it ever happened again. I hope it does, but
right.
Yeah, everything's got to line up perfectly. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I get excited for these young guys, Garrett and Luke, because these kids are, well, Garrett's 18 now, but Luke's still, I think, 16 or 17. And to see those two guys cashing checks, it's amazing because I know how good these fishermen are, and these young kids are coming up and they're kicking their butts. So it's fun to watch because I know like you say, you got Rick there, you got Shelly there.
You got Bob, you got Joey. I mean, you've got you have Justin Faircloth. I mean, Brian's always up there, man. That dude's a stick.
Yeah, every time he comes in one of these events, he's right there.
Yeah.
He's cashing something.
We have lots of really good anglers out there. And I know I've missed a few and we didn't name them, but gosh, man, I think everybody has the opportunity to win, at each event that they go to. So it's just everything has to go right. And I say you got to fish clean. I lost two big fish at Falls actually that would have put me up, probably closer to 100 inches. But I got lucky and still had enough inches there.
Yeah, it was close for sure. I mean, you had 89 3/4, and Brian and Justin were right behind you at 88 and a quarter. So
it was close.
Yeah, they could have easily, upgraded and changed that around quick. So, and Luke too. If Luke got another good fish, he would have been in trouble because he had a 23 1/4.
Yeah. I see Mitch said that's a long damn way. Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a run, but honestly, without my motor, I tell people all the time that Torpedo, it gets me there, man. So without having that, there's no way I would have ever made it down there. Paddling, anything, especially with the wind.
And how was your battery usage? I think you killed one, didn't you? Didn't you have to go get backup?
So I carry two 915-watt batteries, and I always carry two unless I'm just on a small body of water, but I like to run hard and cover water. I'm a power fisherman. And so I actually burned through one battery, switched over, went to another battery. And when I came in, because I had the wind at my face coming in, so it was pretty rough. And I was running hard trying to get back and make sure I got to awards and stuff like that. But when I got back to the ramp, I had 3% battery life left. And, I kind of milked the last 10 minutes there so to make sure I got in. But yeah, I almost burned two batteries up. So, I covered gosh, man, I don't know, 12 plus miles. So I went through all those little fingers and, just turn my motor on. I run it usually at about, 3/4 to 1 mile an hour and just burn down the bank. So I move pretty quick.
Nice. Did you get wet on the way back?
I did. Yeah, it was pretty miserable. I almost flipped my boat there at that big opening where it kind of wise off. You can go up the lake or go towards the dam, and was crossing that big body of water there, and the wind picked up, had me up on top of a wave, and that's the first time I felt like I was going to flip over because of a wave and wind. That we had a ski boat down there that was a guy was wakeboarding, believe it or not, and big rollers and bass boats running through there trying to get back. So it was pretty entertaining.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, we bring on Mr. Justin. Justin's here too, so we bring him in. You get third place. What's happening, Justin?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy?
Did that storm get you?
It did. It came through, and actually, when I got off the phone with you, I called my wife just to make sure that she knew what was going on, because she actually didn't get the alert. She drove through, coming down 220. She drove through like a wall of rain, then blue skies and another wall of rain, and she said the storm tracking tornado vehicle was parked on the side of 220, like tracking that storm. So
yeah,
but the wind picked up a little bit here, but it wasn't terrible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you had an interesting day, Justin, too, right?
Yeah.
You were in Ledge Rock where I was, but I don't know wherever you were fishing, it wasn't where I was. You were getting them.
I stayed out of the wind. Got there, had no expectations of Falls Lake whatsoever. Just that lake and me don't get along.
Yeah, it's a tough lake. I mean, I won an event last fall there, but I almost it's hard to count it as a win because I just feel like I got lucky.
Falls, that's like a common theme amongst most of the anglers around. I mean, I like to tell people that lake is either phenomenal or it's terrible. Like there's usually not an in between. And when I came back into the ramp the other day, a buddy of mine that's his wife actually works for Cash and Rods. Pete was fishing a boat tournament. He got second place with 9 pounds, 4 ounces. And first place was 13 pounds. With my fish, I probably had 20 pounds or close to it. So, I think they had about 30 boats out of that event. And so it was a tough day. I was surprised that, with being able to run around the lake, you would think that somebody would put a pattern together, but they were all like, man, it's terrible. So we're pretty fortunate with what all of us got, especially the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. It was a tough day. I mean, I'd say about lunchtime that wind really picked up. Coming back, they had to be at least 2-foot waves. I mean, it was bad. Yeah,
we had that wind going right up Ledge Rock, which was it was pretty rough. On the way back to the ramp, I was surfing in on like 3 or 4 foot rollers. It was stupid. Yeah,
it was really bad. I was fortunate enough that there was a couple little pockets that I was able to find that, the wind wasn't hitting, and that's where I was getting my bites.
Right. Yeah, the spot I got to in the morning had active fish in it. They were busting, but I couldn't get. I got one to hit, but I didn't hook up, and then everything else was just scattered. Like get a bite and say, okay, I got something going, and then nothing, and then get a bite and get something going. Nope. So it was a little frustrating as far as that went.
Yeah, they kind of started out slow. I guess it was about 9:30. I caught my first fish. That was, I think, an 18 1/4. Then it kind of slowed down, and I think it was another 2 hours before I caught another fish. And then it was 2 minutes, and I caught another one. Right. Me and Cory spoke a couple times throughout the day, and it seemed like every time we talked to each other, he was catching a fish. I was like, what's going on, man? I said, I'm going to call you in a little bit, and hopefully I can catch a fish. And sure enough, I caught that last fish about, I guess it was about 2 o'clock, 19 1/4.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Wind come blowing through. My coat blew off the back of the kayak, went about 40 feet across the lake. I'm telling Cory to hold on. The wind's blowing. He's like, I can't hear you. I was like, just hold on a second. So it was definitely a grind out there. I had 4 fish, I guess about 12:30. Ended up hooking up with my 5th fish, and the wind had moved me so much I wasn't paying attention to my line. Well, the fish hit it right below the boat, probably 14, 15-inch fish. And when I set the hook, the fish goes flying over top of me. The hook comes out of his mouth, and there goes the fish. So that was kind of heartbreaking, sitting in, I think I was 4th, 5th place with 4 fish at the time. Managed to catch 11 3/4, which gave me my 5th fish, and I guess, calmed me down, and was able to focus on catching that bigger bite.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you were tied with Brian for a while.
That last fish, man, it's stressful sometimes, especially when they're not biting good. When we were
Right.
on the phone together, I ended up catching a 16, I think it was a 16.5, which ended up being my 5th fish. And, you feel a relief, but.
Yeah, it was a big time.
Yeah, the first fish and the 5th fish are usually the 2 relievers.
Yeah,
That's right.
That first one, you're like, okay, all right, no skunk, that's good. We can move on. Yeah. And then, that 5th one is always a great one to get.
Yeah. So we got one thing I want to mention. We were talking about who's won, tournaments and looking at past people. You can go to the CKA Hall of Champions on the website,
right?
Through CKA's thing, and that will show you, everybody that's won. Just breezing through there. I see PC, PC Hodge, Matt Hodge, Rick Rowland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's
yes.
And it's always interesting. It's like half the winners every year are new winners. They haven't won before. So it's if you think you're going to come here and you're fishing against great people, but at the same time, you do have a chance to win, and it's proven throughout every year. It's almost exactly 50% that are new winners, first time winners. So
yeah,
so you got the first time winner of the year. So we got 1 mile away already. So and where you heading next?
Justin, what were you throwing during the event? I don't think I even asked you.
My first fish come off a square bill that first thing that morning. Then I couldn't get anything to bite on a spinnerbait, square bill, anything moving over there. I couldn't get them to bite. I switched over to a Texas rig, 1/8 ounce weight, and just slowly moved it through there around laydowns and stuff. And one of them would hit it, one of them would pick it up and take it off, and that seemed to work the rest of the day. It was green pumpkin with gold flake.
Nice.
I almost put on a fluke with a green pumpkin and red flake, and I was like, I probably should have. I only got bit on I think it was like a dark stick worm. And,
I was using Canada Craw, which is darker. It's got some green in it, almost like a lime green, kind of on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But darker colors.
Yeah.
Was yours the same thing though? Most of them out of the wind with the worms.
2 of them were. One was in the wind, but the wind was blowing into that pocket. I think I was actually on the phone talking to you when I caught that 19.
Yeah, you were.
My line. There was a couple of them that we had talked and I hooked up with, but everything on my chatterbait though was in the wind.
Gotcha. So, yeah,
they were right on that drop. They were shallow. I caught all of my fish shallow. I mean, I had a couple guys ask, what depth I was catching them in, and it was 1 to 3 foot.
Yeah, same with me.
The lake water was up, and you could actually. I ran parallel to the bank is how I was fishing, just right off of that drop, the normal drop that you would find on regular water levels. But the water was up above that a little bit, and there was almost a definitive, little drop there, and that's where those fish were laying. all the ones I caught on the chatterbait. So
Yeah, even back there in the back of that, right there at Ledge Rock, all that trees and stuff that are in the water. We were on the phone there. I couldn't get anything. There was nothing in there.
right.
So I went back to the banks and ended up catching the rest of them. I had 7 bites all day and landed 6. So
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's in the comments here that caught any fish on beds or in the back of pockets. That guy I was talking about that had 9 pounds that I know from cashing in the boat tournament, he did catch a couple fish on beds up at the north end of the lake and broke one off that was about 7 pounds that was on a bed. But I never found any fish in the back of the pockets. I found some bait and stuff back there, but they weren't there. So they were to the front of the pocket and about midway back.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say about middle.
Yep.
I got one in the back of a pocket and one in about a midway. Actually, 2 about that were midway, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I see Justin Finger. He said he caught all of his in the back of pockets, but they were no size. So that makes sense as well. I still don't think. I think we're a week or 2 away with good stable weather before we're going to start seeing those big ones back there.
Yeah.
And then Rick Morris said all of his were in the back of pockets. So it probably just depends on where you were on the lake. Then down by me, I couldn't find anything down at that end of the lake.
Right.
So we got to look.
Yeah. How many of us went out of there, Eric? 4 or 5 out of Ledge Rock?
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
That's it. I guess we had 2 quarters of the pool that went out of Barton's because I'm pretty sure there was probably 40 of us. So, there was a million kayaks and boaters down there. So
yeah, no doubt. We had a boat tournament launch out of Ledge, but it was I don't think it was that big. I think maybe 20 boats. I didn't think it was that big of an event, but
they all went the other way.
Yeah, they all leave. That's the last spring was the same thing, and they all left. So a couple of them will hang back and fish a spot or 2, and then they're gone. So that works. But yeah, as far as kayaks, I only saw a couple. I know you took off, and I know Marcus was around. I'm not sure who else was out there. But
after he went past me, I didn't see him anymore all day.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you, did he leave early?
No, he ended up coming back down where I was, and we hung around a little bit together for a little bit there.
Yeah.
But,
James Weaver said that all the boats were in New Light Creek on his spot. He caught a 17 in a pocket in dirty water.
Yeah.
He was in the flat, so up the river.
Okay. I know that people were pretty, most of everybody I went to Barton's. I think that's why I didn't, because I didn't want to be fighting, for pockets. That
was my thing. Like I said earlier, I took my time getting on the water. I was just kind of it was weird, man. I was just kind of relaxed, and I freaked out there for a little bit in the morning just because I wasn't getting bit, and I was like, did I make the right decision? You always second guess yourself. Like I said, I went under that bridge, and I swear there was 15 kayaks back there, and then the boats pulled in. So I left, and every pocket going out to the main river there had a kayak in it seemed like. And so I got as far away from the kayaks as I could, and then I ran into all the boats. But to be quite honest with you, I'd rather fish behind boats than kayakers. And I tell people this, and some people think I'm crazy, but boaters, including myself in the boat, we run the banks pretty quick. And they'll have their spots in these pockets that they know that, high percentage areas, they'll go hit it and they'll leave. A kayaker, we only have so much distance that we can cover, right? So we tend to break down that water more and really concentrate on those pockets. Like a kayaker, you can watch a kayaker, and typically they'll fish that entire cove and methodically. Boater will pull in. I mean, we all see it. They'll pull in, they'll fish, and they leave. So I'd rather be behind boats all day long. And I mean, I caught my biggest fish behind a boat. Guy picked the roller motor up and slammed it down and hauled butt. So he wasn't too happy that I pulled out a 5+ pounder. So that's part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I always say that too. I never second guess going behind a boat, even when I'm in a boat. Up north, there was the best guy in the club I fished behind him one day and I won the tournament, and he only had like 3 fish. No, I was just slamming him. And it blew my mind because I know how good of a fisherman he is, much better than I am. So, I never sweated it. After that day, I was like, yeah, I don't care who I fish behind. It doesn't matter. Because if he left fish, then everybody else is leaving fish too. So I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Hank's on here trolling me. He said that's why we didn't catch anything when he went out on my boat. Hey, I caught one that day. I was on Falls too.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't think I've been on Falls in a boat. Maybe once. I think one time.
That lake I got lucky this time. It usually has my ticket, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I never go there with confidence.
Nope, wasn't expecting anything.
Yeah.
That's why I said, man, just kind of go with what you're comfortable with and just go with your gut. I thought that being down there in the clear water would be better. Brian was not far from me. Brian put in at the same ramp, so he was down that way. But that cleaner water was dirtier up, north end of the lake. The way the wind was setting up, I thought that area would be good. And I'm glad I picked there. I really thought about going to Ledge Rock. I like that area of the lake, but there's fish up there. Obviously, you guys caught them.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they were there for sure. I mean, I was there Friday just to take a look at things. I didn't really get to pre-fish much, but I just wanted to look around, check the water clarity and whatever. And I saw people catching fish shallow. I caught 1 or 2, and then in the short time I was there, so I was like, all right, this will work. I'm good with it. Yeah. And last spring I was there, and I did okay. It was basically the same idea, but the wind was out of the north, and it was coming over a roadbed there. So, and I was just smashing them. It was just fun. It was like super fun. There weren't any giants, but the fish were just biting like crazy. So I was thinking, okay, with south, it should be the same deal. It'll just be on the other side of the roadbed. And they kind of were, but they weren't biting as good as they were last year. So
right.
It didn't work out as well. But and I could only do that in the morning because come afternoon time, there was no sitting there. Actually, Marcus and I were actually sitting next to each other. We were pedaling. We weren't moving. We were just sitting there talking, but we were pedaling like going crazy. But with the way the wind was, we weren't even budging. It was hilarious.
Oh man!
But it was a good time. It was fun. I had a good time with it. But what else could we cover? You guys got any questions? Go ahead and post it up. And we'll let everybody get out of here.
I'm not going to make the next event, so.
Yeah, you're going to be in what, Caddo?
I'm going to be down in Louisiana, Texas. So I leave Sunday and going to be down there for a week. Be down there with Jody Queen, Casey Reed, and Mike Elsey. We all got a house together, and so hopefully we do well. I talked to a couple guys that live down that way, and they said that there's already fish spawning, but the big waves haven't started. So in 2 weeks, I think we're going to hit it perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, the weather's looking like it's going to be good, so it should be really good.
Yeah, it should be a good event. Huh?
Yes.
That one. It's weird. I haven't done like super down there, but it just looked. It's so much fun to fish it because it's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you just really got to find them.
Yeah.
You guys got to see what I was fishing. We lucked up and found that on Thursday, before the event at National.
Yep.
I mean, it's just small little things. I mean, it's a lot of water to cover, but I'm concentrating on Caddo. It's Caddo +4 is what the event is called. This is going to be in play, and the only way that I'll go down there is if Caddo completely sucks. Then
I'm sure it's not going to.
I can't imagine.
I did. Shelly and I went and fished national championship at Shreveport back in March of. It's been a couple years now. I can't remember what year it was, but the area that we fished, Jody and I had practiced there this year, and that was our number 1 spot until we found that other area. So I'm pretty confident that we can catch them again. So I'm excited. Caddo's been pretty good to me. And then like Justin Finger just said, Caddo's the Hobie TOC location as well. And I plan on fishing. I got into the Chickamauga event, and I want to fish the Susky and hopefully qualify for the TOC. So fingers crossed, and I'll be back at Caddo again for the second time this year. But we'll see how it goes.
I'll sell you Cory's waypoints.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, we got it on video. How to fish, where to fish. We got it all.
Yeah, I'd love to go back to the TOC and make it into the TOC, because being back there at that time of the year, it's gonna be lights out again.
Yeah, that was a magic little deal, man. That was cool. That was cool.
That was sweet.
After talking to a few people, local guys, that's something that always happens there, and so pretty interesting. You know, I've never had anything that predictable ever in a pattern. I've had a good pattern, but I've never had anything like that. Like, it was crazy. You could just pull up on it, and I think I caught 17 fish off of that one spot that Justin sat over there and just watched me wreck him.
That was something to watch for sure.
Yeah, Eric came by a couple times, and he left, and then he lost his phone. And
oh yeah, I finally caught a fish, and then I dropped my phone in the water.
I got that on video too.
Yeah, don't delete. Damn. That was bad. That was a bad.
So yeah, you guys are all you're shaping up to go to McIntosh. That should be a really good event too. Y'all watch out for Justin.
Yeah, we gotta beat Justin. We can't let him get this that easy, man.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that fish McIntosh a lot, but I think that's why I'm excited to go to Caddo, but I'm bummed to miss McIntosh in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it should be setting up to be really good.
Be really good.
I'll let you know tomorrow.
Oh man.
Now Jeremy Hicks is going to poke a hole in my kayak. Rick Morris always says I got a hole in my boat.
You got Rick Rowland putting up 104 inches there last summer?
With CCKF, yeah, that was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rick will be up there again, I guarantee it.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We also got Justin helped us out. We're gonna end up having the headquarters at the Red Oak Brewery. So we're gonna meet up there, do the check-in there. There's a gravel parking lot there, so we're all just roll in, meet there. Then afterwards we can go and you said they have food trucks there?
Yeah, they'll have food trucks and all the beer you want.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So we'll go have some fun with that. Yeah, Red Oak's my go-to beer when I'm at a bar. I bet
Wayne will show up to this event, Eric.
I have a feeling he might not fish, but he'll be at the check-in.
Yeah.
He'll probably beat us there.
Wayne likes his beers.
Yeah, Hank, right by the Guilford ramp, right off the highway.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So when she told me when you pull in, like you said, there's a gravel parking lot. You pull in, the road, the parking lot bears off to the right, and you'll see it. It'll say RV and bus parking. That's where we're going to park at with your trailers and everything up there. And she's going to let us set the tent up and do all our stuff there. So
cool deal. Hopefully we don't have 30-mile-an-hour winds to put the tent up.
Right.
Like last time, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So we won't have an open bar. I'll let you guys know that ahead of time. I'm not going to do that. So
nope.
Eric's paying.
We'll put it on. Cory's going to leave his credit card. We'll just use that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't have any money. I've already spent my CKA winnings on entry.
Come right on time.
Entry fees, gas, and Airbnb is gone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it goes fast.
It's a mess.
For sure. What, you gonna fish another event with CKA this year?
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I was looking at the schedule the other day, and I've got some overlap with some other events and family obligations and stuff like that. But there's a couple that I'll make.
Okay.
I screwed up. Justin called me after the event and said, "Dude, you didn't sign up as a member." And being one of the founders of CKA, you would think that would kind of be a given that I would do that, and I didn't. So I lost my TOC spot and lost my points.
Yeah.
So Brian's leading, and then Justin. But my plan wasn't. I knew I was not going to be able to make enough events to really go after Angler of the Year. Maybe next season, but with national events and stuff like that, it's almost impossible for me to do.
Yeah, it is tough. The TOC qualification can be big, though. And if you qualify for the TOC, if you qualify for the TSC, that could be big because we're gonna have. I think we had what? I'm trying to remember how much we gave away last year. That was a good chunk, like $4,000 in cash, I think. We'll probably do the same this year, and then we already have $1,000 guaranteed from KBF for big bass for that event as well. So we don't have to have, no need to have an extra buy-in for big bass like we did last year because it's already got a purse. So.
Yeah, it's honest mistake. I just overlooked the whole membership deal, and it was I was on the fence about fishing Falls event anyways. My daughter was dancing all weekend. She danced Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I told Sabrina, I said, hey, I'm going to fish Saturday, and it was kind of a last minute deal. Like I said, I didn't get to practice or anything, and I hate showing up and just going fishing. I feel like I just donate my money, which is okay, but I needed to get out and get on the water, so that's really what I want.
For sure.
What's going on, John? My dad's on here. Gary, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, Gary? Nice.
So
Matt Haas is on
here.
All
right, I think we could probably wrap this one on up, and we'll, the next event we'll do the same thing. I'll try to get the winner on live and get him to give up all the secrets. We'll see. It's probably going to be Justin, but it could be.
Hey, don't jinx
anybody. I gotta keep you from winning somehow. So jinxing that'll probably have to be it.
It's a hammer, man.
Probably won't even catch a fish out there now.
It's going to be good, guys. I think that as long as the weather shapes up right, it's going to be a slugfest at Mac.
Yeah, looking at the weather patterns, everything.
A lot of rain and stuff like that, and really blow the lake out. I mean, that'd be my biggest concern.
It's pretty muddy right now. I mean, all the rain we've had today and the little, I think we're supposed to get some tomorrow too. So it may clear up a little bit by next week, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
it's going to be just like Falls.
Be all right. Throw a chatterbait, guys.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go find clear water so I can sight fish like I did at Smith Mountain.
There you
go. That's fun. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Yeah, so, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. Absolutely. You got anyone you need to thank your sponsors or do anything?
Z-Man, Cash and Rods, Torquedo. Like I said, without my motor, man, I couldn't. There's no way I would have won this tournament by the amount of water that I covered.
Yeah.
Wilderness Systems, Catch, On the Water Innovations. That's one of our sponsors. My trailer, man, I love that thing. Let's see, YakAttack, KBF. I always got to thank those guys. We're an ambassador series there. DZ and Calco's Fishing, a couple others, but that's the majority of them. Dakota Lithium, that's another one. Can't forget these guys. They kept me powered up, man.
Yeah,
sponsors too. Yeah. Stormy keeps me powered up out there, and running my Garmin and all that stuff. So
yeah, for sure.
Yep. But I appreciate everybody in the comments too. Thanks, guys, for the congrats and the good luck and all that. So good luck to everyone in the comments, and hope you guys have a safe time at Mac. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good luck at Cat. I'll be keeping an eye on it.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, see you, buddy.
See y'all.
See you guys.